If you have tried all the things to manifest more big stuff in your life, but it just doesn't seem to work, or it works a little bit, like you can get the parking spot at the mall, but you can't get the house you want, the money you want, the man you want, whatever you want, the woman you want, then this video is for you. So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about why this is happening, why it works just a little bit, and how you can actually redo what you have been taught and apply this energy towards getting what it is that you want. Okay. So that's what this is all about. We're going to talk about this today. And I want you to think about something. When you actually take a bag of microwave popcorn, which is not very good for you, so don't eat that. But back in the days when we didn't know and we ate microwave popcorn, what was the thing that it said on there? It said, put this in the microwave on high 2 minutes, right? And so you put it in and then you turn on the microwave and then you wait for about a minute and nothing's happening. There's no popping. There's nothing going on. So a lot of times, some of us will open the microwave, we'll shake the bag up a little bit, turn it. Maybe it's not positioned right. Maybe it's upside down. So you fix it. Then you put it back in and you close the microwave again, and then you turn it on, and then another 30 seconds goes by and nothing's happening. So you're like, what the hell? And you open it, you move it around a little, you shake the bag up, you put it back in, and then another 30 seconds goes by. And now you've got maybe 10 kernels popped. And that's kind of like what a lot of us are doing in the world of manifestation. And so manifestation is a real thing. It's just another word for creation, or actually, what I like to say is for aligning with the reality and the version of you that has the thing. Okay. So, because your desires are your safe guidance, you have a desire because it was given to you, because it's already been done, it's already created. But what happens is we go into this uncertainty. And so if we put the microwave popcorn in there and we just knew, I'm going to leave it for 2 minutes and nothing is going to happen until the last 10 seconds. But we knew even nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, it's 1 minute and 50 seconds. And then all of a sudden, it just pops and explodes. Let's say 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever it is. If you were to actually treat your manifestations that way with certainty, you would actually get what you want. But we don't do that. We open the microwave, we don't allow the energy to compound. We don't allow ourselves to become that version of ourselves, because really and truly, everything that you want, like I said, it's already done, but there's a version of you in a parallel timeline, in a parallel reality that is actually living that life. And there are infinite timelines available, but we're going to focus here today on parallel timelines, and we're going to talk about how you can move into that. Okay. So, first of all, some of the things that you've been taught around manifestation are really tripping you up. And the reason that happens is because I feel like it's mostly teaching you to stay in your head. And when you're trying to just manifest from the mind, it really is a huge limitation. And also, conversely, when you're just trying to relax your nervous system, then that can also trip you up. Because if your nervous system is constantly needing to be relaxed because it's constantly in a state of survival, then you're keeping yourself in that loop too. And you're keeping yourself in the loop of healing. So, but let's just go with mindset right now. So, with mindset, what's happening is your mind is a goal achieving machine. Okay. So, it only knows what it knows from the past. And it's also got a lot of data. And so, it's going to look at all the things that have happened or not happened for you, and the experience around it and the story that went with it. And it's going to say, oh, yeah, this isn't safe. This is not available, or this doesn't work, or it's not possible. And so you then align with that and you actually create that outcome. It's kind of like I was talking about this with a client yesterday. When you go to a psychic, okay, and I am clairvoyant, like I can see things. But when you go and you say, what's happening in my relationship? Like, is it going to work? Are we going to get married? Well, they can see a timeline that you're on right now, for example. And they see a timeline and they tell you an outcome, and then you, fully believing what they say, anticipating that outcome, actually create a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you create that outcome. But it doesn't, they're just telling you the timeline that they're seeing that you're on, but there's infinite timelines available. So you can literally shift anytime and say, that's not really the outline or the outcome that I want. So, thanks for sharing that with me, but I'm going to shift. And how do I shift? I become the version of me who lives in a different reality and you become a different character in the game. Okay. Like in the game of life, we're all playing a character. And the character that we see ourselves as comes from the programs, the mind control, the trauma, even things that we're carrying from our lineage, sometimes past lives. All of these things can influence the identity that we have and the self-concept, how we see ourselves. And that is the thing that is going to really truly create your reality, because it doesn't matter what you do. Nothing you do can outperform who you're being and who you see yourself as. Okay. So, and most of the time, your state of being obviously is going to be based off of how you see yourself and how you identity, like the identity that you have, how you identify with the way that life is working with you right now. Okay. So you can either identify, I can't say it. You can either identify with the chaos and get sucked into that, or you can look at it and you can say, I'm not a part of that. That's not what I'm choosing. And you can be sovereign and you can choose something else. So, yes, you actually can, even when things are absolutely crazy in the world as they are right now. So, yeah. Anyway, I went on a little tangent there, but yes. So when we try to manifest from our mind, we're actually stopping ourselves. We're in a state of limitation. We're in a state of the programs, and we're seeing reality through a very small fixed lens that is not the infinite possibility and actually potential that is available to us. We don't see it like that. Okay. We see it just through our mind's eye. And then our nervous system gets on board and says, oh my gosh, this isn't safe. And then the whole thing happens. And then you just don't do the thing, even though you often know exactly what to do. If I want to have a multi-million-dollar business, I can read a book. I can go to ChatGPT. I can talk to a friend of mine who created a multi-million-dollar business. I can, pretending that I haven't created a multi-million-dollar business, because I have, but there's a million ways to make $1 million. And there's lots of people out there telling you how they did it. And there's lots of people sharing information about their journey and the exact strategies that they used. But why isn't it working for you? It's because you're not in alignment and you don't see yourself as that person. You see yourself as the person who's trying, who's pushing, who's hustling, who has to operate from that old operating system. So you haven't calibrated you and your identity to that version of you. Okay. And you're chasing something from outside of you. So this is the second thing. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. As I'm sitting here filming this, there's an Amazon guy and my phone's going, and all these things are happening. So it's okay. But anyway, so when we are manifesting from the outcome, which is another thing that we're taught, okay, to focus on what you want, okay, focus on the thing you want to get. So it's $1 million business, it's a certain relationship, it's a certain outcome. Okay. So you're focused on this outcome, and you've got to focus on it. You've got to think about it. You've got to feel it. You've got to be in the energy of it. You've got to like breathe it in, and you just like imagine yourself in that reality. And then you wake up and you go, yeah, but that's actually not my reality. So, okay, I'm just going to keep trying, and I'll visualize it, and I'll hope, and I'll want, and all of those things. So there's a couple of things happening here. And these are two of the biggest things. The first is that when you're trying to chase an outcome or you're trying to manifest an outcome or attract an outcome, whatever, however you want to put it, it's all the same thing. It's you're going for something that is outside of you. You don't actually feel like it's yours. You don't have the certainty that it's done. It's like with the popcorn. You know, if you just leave it alone, it's going to pop and there's going to be a full bag of popcorn. And there's no question. If you keep opening up the microwave oven, you're taking the energy, the heat, and it cannot compound and it's not going to have that outcome. This is how we actually live our lives. We don't go to a restaurant and say to the waiter, I'll have the goat cheese strawberry salad. And then, you know, every time he walks by or every time you see him, you're like, "Hey, did you order the salad? Is the salad coming? Do they have goat cheese? Are there strawberries here? Like, do they have it? Like, am I going to get it?" Like, you don't think like that because you know I'm ordering this. I can just securely know that I can carry on with my conversation and enjoy the experience of being in the restaurant, just like you're supposed to enjoy the experience of being in your life. And you set out what it is that you want to order. You have certainty. You know that it's yours. You know that it's coming. And in fact, it's like it's happening in the kitchen. Okay. When you go on Netflix, you're going to be browsing. There's like a million movies in there, a million TV shows. They're already recorded. They're already done. They're already in there. All you have to do is tune into the frequency of the one that you're choosing. If we looked at life the way that we look at these things, then we would be manifesting magicians. And actually, we are manifesting magicians. We're just manifesting the things that we don't want more often because we're so focused on the fact that A, we don't have it, B, it's somewhere out there, and C, there's the whole other piece that I don't see myself as that person living that. I really want it, but that's probably for someone better. So you're operating from that trauma, okay? So you really just need to create that version of you or know exactly who that most abundant self is, that is you, and align yourself with it. Start doing the things that that person does. Start waking up early like they do. Start having a green juice in the morning like they do. Start going to the gym. Start meditating. Start like whatever it is. Okay. And, you know, in the world of manifestation, they always tell you, well, you have to meditate, you have to journal, you have to visualize, you have to do all these things in order for you to get the thing that you want. But actually, all you really need to do is get very clear on who is the version of you that is living the life that has the things that you want. And when you like in one of my earlier videos, because this is a very new channel, so it's only a couple of videos ago, I can drop the link, but I went through a little exercise where I said, look at the version of you that you are right now and look at all of the characteristics and the behaviors and the thoughts and the dominant state of being and the whatever, okay? Like what are the patterns? What are the things about this version of you right now that got you to where you are right now? And then look at the version of you who is, you know, has the multi-million dollar business, has the incredible relationship, is, you know, making a big impact in the world, doing all the things that you want to do and being who you want to be. Well, you'll notice that when you look at this version of you that got you here, there's a whole lot of things, most likely, that you can't take with you over here. So you have to be willing to let those go and you have to be willing to take these on. You have to be willing to be that version of you. You have to be willing and you've got to move and you've got to start doing it. Because here's the thing. I can do a podcast and do it once in a while. I mean, or I could open up a business and go there once in a while. And actually, that's a really good analogy. So if I opened up a clothing store and I just went in there sometimes, and not even like if I said, okay, I'm going to go in every Saturday, at least people know I'm coming every Saturday. But no, I was just like, I feel like going in on Tuesday. I feel like maybe I'll pop in over here on Thursday afternoon for an hour. You're not really going to have a successful business because there's there's no there's no structure or there's no, I don't want to say you have to be consistent, but you kind of have to be consistent in being the version of you that has the business. Because so I'm going to create a business where people aren't going to know whether or not I'm coming in. So they're not even going to bother to show up. They're not going to drive out of their way to come to my store when I may or may not be there. Right. Yes, they can call, but you know what I mean. So if I'm there every day from Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, everyone knows, oh my gosh, she's got the best clothes in town. I want to go there. And it would be inevitable if I kept showing up, if I kept having the best stuff, if I was like having so much fun in my business, if I had the best things to offer and I was like the best customer service, it would be inevitable. Okay. And I saw myself with this incredible booming business, and I just woke up and acted as that version of me. It would be inevitable that I would become that version of me. Okay. So that's my point. It would be inevitable that I would fail if I just kind of came in here and there and I didn't really believe that I could have the business and it didn't really, you know, have an opportunity to grow because I didn't show up for it. I didn't believe that it would really work. So I just kind of put in a half-assed effort anyway. And this is what we do. We have to operate from a state of certainty, because when you are certain that it's yours, then you know that you can see yourself living that life. And you can also see yourself living as the way you've been. And you can see the loop that you've been in for like several years. So many people are living life year after year with the same bank account, with the same disconnected relationship, with the same outcomes in their lives and the same version of themselves. They constantly are trying to, this is the year I'm going to do it. This is the year. Every January, this is the year. This is my year. And then by February, they're like going back and watching Netflix and eating Doritos instead of like being the successful version of them who gets out and goes for a walk and connects to nature. And maybe they go to the gym. Maybe they, decide to have a green juice every morning, whatever it is, right? When you start to become that version of you, then it more and more gets into a place where you collapse and dissolve the gap in time. And all of a sudden you become this person and you have these results and you go, how did I get here? But if you were over here in your mind trying to figure out how to get here, you are going to stop yourself right there, because the universe has an infinite perspective. You have this perspective. You only know what you have evidence of, pretty much. And a lot of times when we look at the success of other people, we don't look at that as evidence as we should, that it's available to us, because everything that someone else can do, you can do too, right? If there is evidence of that, most of the time, what do? We compare ourselves. We degrade ourselves. We belittle ourselves for not being there, and we should be here, and we should have done this thing. And look at her, and she started the same time as me, and she had this result, but I don't. And what is that doing? That's not the version of you over here who knows who the fuck she is. Okay. That's the difference. It's who you're being. It's be, do, have, not have, do, be, not I'm going to, or I'm not going to do so that I can have the thing and then I'll be good. It's all wrong. It's be that version of you, do the things that version of you does, and have what it is that you want. But it begins with the beingness. Okay. So truly, there are realities that exist at the same time. And we know this is true. We're without getting into, I'm going to do a video about the observer effect and how huge that is for you. And we'll go quantum. I think I need to do a quantum video, but right now I just want to keep it really simple. And I want you to understand that there are parallel realities, parallel timelines that are happening. And so that version of you that you see as your most abundant self is already there. And like I said earlier, there's an infinite perspective when you work with the infinite intelligence, God, all that is, the universe, whatever you want to call it. I say God. So when you work with the infinite intelligence, then and you align with what wants to come through you or what is trying to express itself through you, but you are so busy not being that because you're so busy trying to fit in, you're so busy trying to get love, you're so busy trying to get validation, you're so busy trying to be, the version of you that became that version of you through the trauma lens. Okay? And so you're blocking out this beingness that just wants to come through and express itself. That is why authenticity is the highest frequency, because it's you, it's your God self, it's you and your God self expressing itself through you. So that's why people are so magnetic when they're authentic. But so when you look at these different timelines, okay, the ones that you can see for yourself, the ones that you can imagine that version of me living there, then it's truly about embodying that version of you. And it's little by little. And you do have an outcome. You do get yourself in the energy of being around people who are achieving the things that you want. Start listening to things that they make you think something, they make you feel differently, they make you inspired, and not only just inspired, but they activate something within you that's been dormant. There is a God particle within all of us. We all have the power within us that creates worlds, literally. Okay. So you have this within you. And it's up to you to align with that reality. You can stay in this reality. It's the same thing with all the craziness going on in the world. Like, we can go down this timeline where we live in 15-minute cities and everybody can't get enough food and yada, yada. Or we can choose to create something different and we focus and funnel our energy there. Like, truly, we're in a spiritual war right now where our energies are being siphoned from us. Like the movie with what the hell is that movie? Monsters Inc., where they go and they make everybody afraid and then they feed on their energy. They take their energy and that's what powers them, right? This is what's happening. And so you have to be very conscious of where you're funneling your energy, whether we're in a crazy time or not. We're always in a crazy time. We're always this actually, I mean, amazing. Like, what a time to be alive. What a time. So we know now with certainty that there are certain forces that are trying to influence us and divide us and separate us. And so we can choose to be the observer and say, that's not my reality. I'm actually choosing a different reality. And you can start with, I'm the version of me who has the multi-million-dollar business so that I have the freedom to choose, the freedom to travel, the freedom to, do the things that I want to do and be who I want to be in this world and in this lifetime and make the impact and help the other people. You got to put your mask on first. And it starts with you really aligning with that version of you that you can see it, you can feel it, it's there. Then you've got to start to align yourself with it. You've got to begin that embodiment process. Okay. So one of the things that I'm going to share with you before I go, and I feel like there's a few little pieces that you could do. There's something that I just recorded actually, and I think this is kind of fun, and I want to offer this for you today. So I recently recorded myself talking about how I had this incredible outcome and how I'm living in this way and how all of these things are happening. And I'm grateful for it and I'm in the moment of it. But I'm just wanting to tell you this. I'm not freaking out in a state of like, oh my God, I won the lottery and oh my God, like that. We want to just really normalize this. Okay. Because your mind doesn't know it doesn't know the difference between, there's no distinction of what you choose to believe is true and what you think is in your imagination. Okay. There's no distinction. So when you are recording an audio of yourself talking about this and about the life that you're living and everything and how it feels, and not in a hyper excitement way, but in a way that feels normal. in a way that feels calm and peaceful and good, then you will actually play that before you go to bed and when you wake up, and you will actually start to align your energy and your identity with it, along with consciously choosing to become that version of you. So if you want that success, then you're going to start showing up and you're going to be that version of you, no matter what's going on out here. No matter if you don't have the nice clothes in your closet, then make sure that you have one or two nice pieces that you feel that are so good that you can wear, or you invest in getting the right mentorship, or you invest in yourself in through time, through taking good care of yourself. You invest in nourishing food. You invest in getting the time to go out and be in nature, right? So you invest your time, you invest your energy, you invest your resources, your money, whatever, okay? And you start to do the things that that version of you does. Because I know that the version of me who has a $50 million or $80 million or $100 million coaching business, she does certain things and she invests in herself and she trusts and knows that she's not gambling because she knows that she is her best investment, right? So you start to make decisions based on that version of you, not this old, scared, traumatized version of you that got you here that we love and we have compassion for. We don't think, oh my God, I should be further ahead and I'm such an idiot or I'm such a loser. I can't believe I did this. I can't believe. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, what are the parts of you that got you here with all the love in the world, operating with what they had, that got you here, that you are now ready and willing and able to let go of so that you can step into the version of you who knows better, who makes the decisions and the has that dominant state of being that is peaceful, that is certain, that knows I'm good no matter what. And when you can do that, you are going to transform your life. So we're going to go deeper into actually not just a quantum leap, but I want to show you to command the field. So we'll be doing that in the next video. I can't wait to see you there. Love you.